let's get started. So, pronunciation workshop 2. What I'm going to start off with is a recap because some people did not join the first workshop, and that's okay. You can go and watch the replay, but I just want to do a little recap just in case you're a bit lazy, or maybe you forgot. Maybe you did watch it and you just forgot. So, we talked about why pronunciation is important. And we learnt about sentence stress and why it is important for your speaking and listening comprehension. So if you're interested in sentence stress, then you can go back and watch that. It's there, it's free, you can go take a look. So let me just recap on why is improving your pronunciation important. So this is the same stuff we covered in the first workshop, but as I said, many people are new here, as they've said in the chat, so hello and welcome. Let's talk about why it's important. So number 1, you become a better communicator. You understand others and express yourself more clearly and correctly in the way you truly intend. So who was it? Someone... I can't remember who it was. I normally have my notes, but I don't have them with me today. But they believe society, some researchers, let's call them, because I can't remember the name of the guy. If someone remembers, please put the name in the chat. Yeah. Sorry, people are doing Twitch commands in the chat, and it's so funny to see it here on YouTube. So, they believe, researchers, some of them believe, that quite a hefty proportion of your tone of voice and your intonation and your stress contribute to the meaning and the message that you're trying to convey. If I remember correctly, it's near 40%. It's something like 37%. It's a very odd percentage, but roughly 40% of the message that you want to convey that is spoken comes through tone, intonation, stress, all of these wonderful things that we're going to talk about. So it's not just the words. A lot of people focus on, I need to know more vocabulary, I need to know more grammar to express myself. But really, you can have all the grammar and all the vocabulary in place and construct perfectly correct sentences. But if your tone is off, you can convey a different meaning to what you actually intend. Number 2, people understand you better and ask you to repeat less often. It can sometimes interrupt conversations. It can make you start to feel a bit self-conscious, which leads on to point number 3, you feel more confident when you speak. Number 4, people understand you and take you more seriously when you speak, as mispronunciations can be distracting, embarrassing, and funny for others to hear. I want to repeat something I said in the first workshop. I'm not talking about accent here, I'm talking about mispronunciations, that sometimes you can confuse words, confuse vowels, for example. We know the famous ones like beachen and sheeten. So what we need to do is make sure we're not making those distracting and embarrassing mistakes, because they can again interrupt the conversation, which I think many people have been in that situation. I have with Spanish. I know exactly how it feels. Been there with Portuguese as well, actually, and German. I've embarrassed myself in more than one language. And the last point I want to talk about is it helps you with your listening skills. So pronunciation and listening go very, very well together. They go hand in hand, okay? So if you learn about the features of pronunciation, you can apply those to your own listening skills and you can start to understand people better. So let's jump over. Let's talk about who I am. Who am I? Because some people are brand new here. Some people have just started following my channel, following me on social media. Maybe your friends have recommended me to you, and hello. So let me talk briefly about who I am. If you know me, then you can, just use this as listening practice. But my name is Emma. I am from York, which is in the north of England. I have a BA Honours degree in English Language and Linguistics, and my dissertation, so my final research project, was about the teaching of non-standard accents and dialects to English language learners. My master's was in education, in teaching English to speakers of other languages, and my final research project for that was about pragmatics. So not pronunciation, unfortunately. I wanted to do it in pronunciation, but the tutor quit a week before the course started, so I couldn't do it. So I did it in pragmatics. I also have a Cambridge CELTA teaching qualification. I've been teaching for more than 10 years. So I started when I was just 16 and I'm 28 now. So it's been quite a while. And I have an online following of over 350,000 people and over 2.5 million views, which is amazing. And you are some of those people. So thank you. That's so amazing. So let me show you why pronunciation is important, because you've all come here today because you want to find out about contracted forms, and that's what we're going to talk about. So contracted forms, what are they? When you see a sentence like the first one, you've got I would like a coffee, okay? We've got all the words there, but what native speakers, and not just native speakers, okay, but other speakers of English, particularly those with a higher level, they will contract. What that means is they cut some of the sounds from a word. Sometimes they cut a word completely, but they cut a part of a word and then you squish it together and you put an apostrophe to show that the letters are missing from one of the words. So here in the second one we have I'd like a coffee. I'd like a coffee. Now, you can say, I would like a coffee, but you are more likely to hear, I'd like a coffee. And notice it's really quick. I'd like. If you go back to the lesson on sentence stress, focus on the words that I'm stressing here. I'd like a coffee. Like, cough. I'd like a coffee. I'd like a coffee. I'd and become very weak. I'd like a coffee. So we can see here that they are using the weak vowel sounds. Would has two ways to pronounce it. It has the weak form. So here we can see with the schwa, it is the weak form. But if we're going to say it in a sentence alone, or if it's being used for emphasis, what I talked about in Monday's lesson, we may use the strong form, and the strong form is would. Would. So we've got would and whoops and would. Really quick, really weak. I would like a coffee, or I would like a coffee. If you use the strong form, it's okay, but it doesn't sound particularly natural. Let's have a look at some other contracted forms. So we've got had can be reduced to ud. Would becomes apostrophe D, is becomes apostrophe S, and so on. Now, of course, let's, I've had to do it as let's. It's not just apostrophe S, but let us becomes let's. So that's that there. Let's do a listening and repeating exercise. So everyone in the chat who is watching now, I can see you all there, even the lurkers, I know you're there. I want you to listen and repeat, and you must speak out aloud. You must speak out aloud. You're not going to improve your pronunciation just by watching me and practicing in your head. The only way to improve your pronunciation and your speaking is to speak, okay? So let's go. I'd like to visit England. I'd like. I'd like. Add. Add. I'd like to visit England. He'd help, but he's busy. He'd help. He'd help. Hid. But he's busy. his. But he's busy. He'd help, but he's busy. Do you notice what I'm doing with the contracted forms? I'm using a weaker form and I'm saying them very, very quickly. Not he's busy or he is busy. He's busy. It becomes very quick. Number 3, I'm learning English. I'm learning. I'm learning English. I'll see you soon. Oh, I'll see you later. I'll see ya. Ya. You later. See you later. I'll see you later. And the last one, let's go. Let's go. And there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that practice. So people in the chat, any questions so far that are related to today's lesson? Because I'm not going to talk about other topics of pronunciation because I will be here all day and I have a life and I want to go outside and enjoy the rain because it's England. So great, people are doing well, fantastic. Let's talk about double contractions because this is something that some people don't even know exists, and I'm very shocked to hear that because it's so important to know, especially for your own understanding. So double contractions, if we take a look at the ones that we just did, so I'd like, this is just one contraction, okay? But here what you'll find is that we have two contracted words. So what we can use is a modal verb. It tends to be modal verbs that we can use with not and have. So for example, would not have, could not have, should not have, okay? That would get reduced to wouldn't have or wouldn't-a. Usually wouldn't have, so this one here, is used when we have a vowel coming after it. And this one tends to be if there's a consonant coming after. But this can also be if it's consonant or vowel, okay? But this one would be quite difficult to pronounce if there was a vowel coming after it. So we tend to use the v one if there's a vowel. So it sounds like wouldn't-a, wouldn't-a, or wouldn't have, wouldn't have. You can also use it with who. So who would have. You can say, for example, who'da or who'd've, who'da, who'd've. Here are some listening and repeating exercises. So people in the chat, yeah, see, I've never met double contractions before. So you're learning something new. You're learning that double contractions exist. And it's very, very, very common. Let's do some listening and repeating. So I'll say the sentences exactly like I did before. I'd like you to listen and then repeat aloud, okay? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have. Shouldn't have. Shouldn't have said. I shouldn't have said that. Number 2. I'd have gone, but I didn't have the time. I'd have gone. I'd have gone, but I didn't have the time. but I didn't have the time. I'd have gone, but I didn't have the time. By 5 p.m, they'll have finished working. They'll have finished. They'll have finished working. By 5 p.m, they'll have finished working. This time we've got it with a vowel, so instead of saying shouldn't-a, I'd-a, they'll-a, we're going to add a V sound. We'd have arrived on time if you weren't so slow. We'd have arrived. We'd have. We'd have. We'd have arrived on time if you weren't so slow. Weren't. Weren't. If you weren't so slow. We'd have arrived on time if you weren't so slow. Well done if you were practicing that instead of writing in the chat. Let's see, any questions? So you don't pronounce the vert sound. So as I said here, typically if you've got a consonant sound coming after, you wouldn't. I can say I shouldn't have said that. And you can say it, it's possible. But normally we cut it. It depends on the speaker. But if there's a vowel coming after, you do pronounce it. So I'd have arrived. I keep the V because there's a vowel. First time hearing about double contractions, fantastic. Is the second sentence, aren't there 3 contractions, teacher? Where? With this one, the third one, there's just 2. They will have becomes they'll. You notice how different it is? They will have finished working. Sounds crystal clear. You meet someone and they say they'll have finished working, and you think they'll? What does that mean? Can't you say I didn't have bothered. I feel like I've heard it. It's not something I would personally say, but do not take that as that is a no, nobody says that, okay? It's not something I would personally say. It would be better to maybe ask some other people, or I can ask some other people for you and see whether they will say it, but I don't personally say that. But do not take that as nobody says that, okay? I need to clarify these things. Can you please repeat they'll, or they'll have. Hello from Brazil, welcome. Can you repeat weren't? If you weren't so slow. So notice that we're connecting t and s together, okay? I'm not talking about connected speech today, but it is there, it exists. Is it possible to use glottal T and D? In what example? In English, British English I'm talking about, we normally have glottal T. I don't know of a glottal D, but please do correct me if I'm wrong. I like learning more. Do you guys know any English groups on Discord? I do have one, Carolina. I do have one. Send me a private message on Instagram or an email or something. I'll send you the link. Or if you just go to my Procrastination with Emma Instagram page, the link is there for you. Good. Okay, perfect. So let's jump on to when can I use contracted forms? I'm going to throw this at the chat. I'm going to ask you guys, when can we use contracted forms? What do you think? Should I be using them in formal situations, do you think? When are they typically used? What do you think? I'm not going to talk about an American accent today because I'm not American and I'm not an American accent specialist. what do we think? People will seriously understand you when you use double contractions? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We use them so much. You cannot imagine. You cannot imagine how much we use them. I catch myself using them with students and then I think, oh, hold on. Do they know about double contractions yet? This is a good chance for me to teach them about it. And that's for my private students. Exactly. Perfect. So we use it in informal and casual speech. Normally we do, especially the double contractions. So if you're in a situation that's quite informal, it's casual, laid back, you can use contracted forms. The same with your writing. You can use contracted forms in writing in informal situations as well. So now let's jump on to this bit. You're probably thinking, how do I learn more about contractions? And I've seen that someone has asked in the chat, how do I learn more about contracted forms? How do I practice this more? People in the chat were asking, Emma, can you repeat? Can you repeat? Can you repeat? Can you repeat? And I could be sitting here repeating until I am blue in the face, okay? But how do I practice this more? How do I get feedback to make sure I'm doing this correctly? Because I'm giving you this lesson, but I don't know if you're practicing at home or on the bus or wherever you are. Are you practicing? Do you need feedback? Do you want feedback? And how do I know that people will understand me if I use contractions? Someone asked this in the chat. It's almost like I'm reading your minds. I promise I'm not psychic, I'm just an English teacher with over 10 years experience, so I know what's going on through your mind. So yeah, will people understand me? Yes, they will. But you need to make sure that you're doing them correctly. How do you know you're doing them correctly? You may need feedback on that. For someone to tell you, I'm sorry, but you need to change this a little bit. It's not clear, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the big question that people ask, and I get this so many times, I have no clue where to start improving my pronunciation. How do I improve my pronunciation? I need feedback. I need help. How can you help me, Emma? I get this so much. So I have a big surprise. If you joined the first workshop, then this is not going to be such a big surprise. But if you could have access to a giant website which is full of lessons to help you improve your pronunciation and listening skills. You get daily feedback Monday to Friday, because I like my weekends, and a monthly private session with me there to guide you and answer your pronunciation questions. How would that sound? Does that sound interesting? Please don't say no in the chat. So, oh, we've jumped back to listen to and repeat. We don't want to listen and repeat anymore. We want to jump back here. So, I want to talk a little bit about my Pronunciation Pro membership site. I talked about it on Monday. You guys have non-stopped emailed me. Oh my God, I opened my email inbox yesterday morning and there were so many emails with questions, thank yous. They wanted to know more. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm so excited and a little bit nervous, but I'm going to show you inside today. So we're going to take a little tour together. So Pronunciation Pro, that's the name of my membership site. Here's a little sneak preview. I'm going to show you in some more. I've been working on this for over a year. And I've had a beta testing period. I've had a period where I have just, been working on, improving this after the beta testing session. And I feel like it's ready to launch, but it's still so small in comparison to what I have in mind. My idea and my vision for this is to create a big membership site where you have all of these lessons about pronunciation to help you with your listening as well, but it is constantly updated. Like, it's not just a course that I put on the internet and I say, here's a course. This is something that's gonna keep on growing, and I like that because I like making content. So if I can keep adding to it, then it will keep me happy and it will keep you guys happy too. So there are detailed lessons on all the sounds of English, rules for sentence and word stress, because we do have some rules and I talk about them in there. And the rules for intonation in sentences and questions, and more lessons are being constantly added. So as you can see at the side, some are not ready yet, but they will be. Someone asked me if there will be a section on minimal pairs, and there will be. It won't be there when the course, I don't want to use the word course, membership launches. However, it will be added within the month that you join, because this will be like a monthly membership. So it won't be there when you first join, I'm really sorry, but it will be there like a week or two later, okay? And there will be at least, I think I counted like 22 lessons on minimal pairs. Like, it's gonna be huge. When I say this is gonna be big, like, I mean it's gonna be big. I'm not exaggerating. Someone emailed me as well, and they asked about homework. Did someone ask about homework in here as well, or maybe I misread? You will get homework. You will get practice checkpoints. So these are where you can practice what you learned in that lesson, practice, record yourself, and send me the feedback. Send it to me, and I will send you some feedback. So yes, let me show you inside it. Let me give you a little tour. I'm so excited, but also so nervous. Okay, so this is what we saw earlier, okay? This is the page. We've got the name. We've got 64 lessons for now. Like, when I say it is just 64 lessons, some people are like, wow, Emma, that's actually a lot. And it is. Even my beta testers were a bit overwhelmed, but it's gonna grow. It's gonna get big. I want this to be big. So there is a welcome section. I will talk to you about parts of the mouth as well. So it's good to get familiar with certain areas of the mouth, because in the lessons I will talk about things like make sure that you're using the tip of your tongue with the alveolar ridge, make sure that you're using the blade of the tongue on da 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 da. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you can be really, really, really precise. Okay, that's like the key thing here is precision. I've also got a section on vowels. So all the vowels, monophthongs, oops, I accidentally closed that. Let's put that back, just so you can see. So all the monophthongs are there, all the diphthongs are there, triphthongs are also there, and I talk about things like smoothing, which I haven't really seen people explain that much on YouTube, but it's something that sometimes happens, is smoothing. And don't ask me what smoothing is, because it's in the course, and if I tell you here, then yeah, you're not going to see inside the course, are you? Membership, not course. All of the consonants, of course. I talk about the light L and the dark L, so I get really, really into that. This section on R. Now, R is quite a difficult sound to do. So here there's just a standard unit, but what I want to do in the future is make a really big one, because I know that some people really want to talk about that in a lot more detail, because it can be quite difficult. But if I just show you inside, let's get a sneak peek inside. Yeah, some accents drive me crazy, I know. It depends what you're used to. I'm going to talk about accents in a moment. So here, for example, in the R section, you've of course got, in this lesson, you will learn, so you know exactly what you're going to learn in that lesson. So how R can be used to link words together, and some of the corresponding spellings for the R sound. So there's me explaining about the R, and you can tell it was like before my haircut. You could tell I've been working on this for a while. This video has been here for ages. We've got some spellings. So a lot of my private students, they really like spellings for certain sounds. You can practice those. You've got a recording here for all the words that are in here, so you can listen to those, practice, repeat. A little bit further down, I talk about the linking R. So this is like a feature of connected speech. So here I'm talking about that, and I do have a connected speech unit where I talk about the linking R and intrusive R in more detail. Here's me. I don't look very happy, but I promise I am. I talk about removing the R. So when is the R silent in non-rhotic varieties of British English? I talk about the rules there. I give some other examples here with a recording. Like, you have everything. You have everything in one unit. Like, I've not messed around with this. Like, I've really put a lot of work into this. And then here, the practice checkpoint. So the person that emailed me and asked me about homework, this is your homework, is the practice checkpoint. So you'll know exactly what to record. So what to practice, what to record, and what to send to me. So you've got your practice words. What you'll have is the target sound in first position, medial position, and final position. Now, of course, R in non-rhotic varieties of British English, they don't exist, okay, at the end. That's why this bottom one is blank, because they just don't exist. And then you've got some sentence practice as well, so you can practice the target sound in sentences. You've got a recording. You've got everything. You can see my efforts. Thank you so much. I've worked so hard on this, and I think that's why I'm so stressed about launching it. So as you can see at the side here, we do have more units than what was shown here. So if you can see, we've got consonants, stress, intonation, contractions, and connected speech, okay? Here, you will see minimal pairs. You won't see this, okay? You're only seeing this now because we are behind the scenes. You are in my profile, okay? So the minimal pairs section, you can see it's got draft. It may be a bit too small on your screen, but it says draft, and you can see it's grey, like it's not black like these. That's because when you join, you cannot see it yet, but it just shows what I have in mind just for the minimal pair units. Like, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. About stress, again, you can see I've got a section here. I need to add loads of stuff to be added. Intonation, contractions, which we've talked about today. So there's more practice in there. I talk about double contractions, of course, and I give you some practice. Connected speech, I talk about that, and I've still got some others to talk about in there, like how t, d, and n change at the end of words. I've not even talked about that on my YouTube channel, and a lot of people have been requesting it, so that will be in there as well. Hopefully it won't be there on launch, but it will be added later. So yes, lots of stuff. Someone mentioned about accents as well. Like, accents are a bit of a pain, and I know like some of them can be quite difficult. So again, this will not be here at the time of launching, as I said, because this is going to be big, but I do intend to add a section in the future that is about different English accents. So here, for example, I want in the future, it won't be here on launch, but in the future, I would like to do a section on like Canadian English, and I'd like to interview different people from different parts of Canada. Then we can listen to their accent, we can do a little accent analysis, have just a casual conversation, and then you can get used to that kind of accent. And then if you want to find out more, there will be other resources and things. So yes, of course, about Yorkshire, because that's where I'm from. I might say if my dad will be interviewed. And then you can see my dad. He has a very strong northern accent. So yeah, loads of stuff. Oh my god, a lot of stuff actually. Yeah, if I show you a little bit more, like the p lesson, where is it? Of course it's in consonants. What am I doing looking in the vowels? So talking about the p, I don't just talk about p, okay? I actually explain more, how do I put this? I explain different types of p that you will find in English. So what tends to happen is a lot of people will just get a piece of paper and they'll say, look, you need to push the air. But in this video, I explain different types of p sounds using a piece of paper, because there's more than one. And it really bugs me when people say, here's the p sound. It's like, the p? I'm sorry, there are like at least two. So yes, where are you from? I'm from York originally. What's the membership fee? I'm not going to talk about the membership fee yet. I'm going to talk about that later on during the week, but it will be reasonable. And there will be two two ways to pay, if that makes sense. So you'll be able to do it monthly, or there'll be a yearly fee. I'm gonna breathe now. Let me jump back to this. So what makes Pronunciation Pro different? Because you're maybe thinking, okay, Emma, I see Pronunciation Pro, it looks good, but your membership looks no different to Pronunciation with Bob, Pronunciation with Susan. I don't know if Bob and Susan exist, but I'm just inventing, okay, for legal reasons. What's the difference? What makes Pronunciation Pro so different? Well, you receive feedback on your recordings and support while you are a member. So when you join, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to be there. Basically, the idea with this is that instead of doing my one-to-one lessons with students, is that they can join this and I will be there supporting if you need me. Okay, so you do the lessons, but I will be there to support you and give you feedback. You have full control over what you want to learn and practice, and I give guidance on which areas of pronunciation you should practice and focus on. So during the beta testing stage, students would submit their recordings, I would give them feedback, and sometimes what I would do is say, okay, you did this perfectly, but it would be good if you take a look at the unit on sentence stress or because your tone is a bit flat and maybe you want to convey some more meaning. So I will point people in the direction of where I think they should go. Sometimes I didn't, you know, because the recordings were great, but people, the beta testers, really liked having that guidance and direction, because sometimes we can get a bit overwhelmed. Like, I want to improve my pronunciation, but where do I start? And am I doing it right? Well, if you had those questions, then this membership could definitely help with that, because I'm there to help you and guide you and say, no, have a look at this instead. And on top of the feedback that you get every day, Monday to Friday, because I like my weekends, you have a 15-minute open office session once a month to ask me any questions about pronunciation. It will be private, it will be one-on-one, 15 minutes, ask me whatever you want with pronunciation. It won't be a lesson, I need to make that really clear. It's not going to be a private lesson, it's basically going to be, here's my office, virtual office. The doors are open, come in, bring your questions, let's talk about them. So yeah, that's all of that anyway. There was a question earlier that was quite interesting. What happens if you grow so big that you can't provide one-to-ones anymore? I open more days, Melissa, and I go full-time with this. Don't you worry. I just go full-time. Will you keep pronouncing? Yeah, I will. Will you keep posting pronunciation videos on YouTube? I will, don't worry. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all of those will be free. They will always be free. Don't worry. This is a membership. It will be paid, okay? Because I've put way too much time and effort into this. So, who is Pronunciation Pro for? It's for people who have at least an intermediate level and above of English. You want to become more confident when you speak English. You want feedback on your pronunciation and to be guided and given suggestions on areas to improve. You want to be a more effective communicator and you don't want to repeat yourself, and you want conversations to flow more naturally. And finally, you have an interest in British English, modern RP, and the various accents within the UK. So, as I showed you inside the membership, I do have plans in the future to do interviews with different people from around the world to talk about different accents, you know. I would love to even extend it to like different varieties of English, including like Indian English, things like this. So I would really like to expand it. I have big plans. I'm going to be working on this for years, but that's good. It's going to keep me busy. So, next thing, Pronunciation Pro will be opening soon. The doors are going to open for Pronunciation Pro on Saturday. This Saturday, the doors are going to open, and only the people who are on my email list will receive an email as soon as the doors open. And as a thank you for joining my email letter, I will also send you a free PDF book. Let me show you that. Oops. Oh, there we go. So here's the free book. It's a free PDF book, okay? So there'll be 10 difficult words in there with a recording for you to practice. There'll be 10 commonly mispronounced words that I hear all the time that are mispronounced. They'll be in there. There'll be a free audio file, and there'll be some exercises to practice what we've learned in today's workshop and Monday's workshop. So at the very back of the book, there'll be an activities section. There'll be activities to practice what we did in Monday's workshop, and there'll be activities to practice what we did in today's workshop. So if you want some more practice with audio files as well, so you can listen and repeat, then you can download this. Practice. And that's it. So someone's just asked, how can you join the email list? The link is in the description of this video. I hope that it's there and it's working, because last time it wasn't working. Monday was a real disaster. But never mind. So the membership doors will only be open for a limited amount of time as well. So as someone asked before, who was it? Was it Melissa? No, it wasn't. How long has it taken you to put this together? Over a year, Melissa. Over a year. It's taken me ages. Absolutely ages. And that's why I'm so nervous to get this out, because it's when you have a baby and you're kind of you don't want other people to hold the baby, but you want people to see the baby. That's kind of how I am with this membership, but I'm allowing you to hold the baby, okay? So yeah, it was Melissa. What happens if it grows so big I can't provide one-to-one anymore? Don't worry, that will be fine. What I'm doing is, this is also a transition period for me, opening such a big membership site, that I will need time for me as one human being to adjust to this new change. So the doors are going to be open for a little bit. I'm going to open them for a week, so 7 days, and then I will close them, but it will only be for a limited time. Don't worry, they're not closed forever and ever. You can join in the future, but it's to give me that chance to get into this new rhythm of being an online teacher with the membership. So yes, being busy is good. Any tips to improve your IELTS listening? Practice, and practice a little bit more. It all comes down to practice. So yes, if you're interested in joining the membership, or if you're just interested in the free PDF book that I showed you and you just want to practice what we've done in the workshops, that's absolutely fine. The link to join the email list is in the description of this video. I will also share it on my social medias just in case you lose this lesson or you can't find the link or it's not working again like Monday. So yes, I will share that. Join that and you'll get a link to the book and the audios and everything in there. And of course, I will send you more information about the next workshop, which is on Friday, and then when the doors open on Saturday for the membership. And breathe. What's the cost of this? Good question, Juan. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on during the week, okay? Because I'm just going to leave it a little bit. But it will be reasonable. There will be a monthly fee or there will be a yearly fee. And then you can decide. Maybe you want to join for the month and you think, you know what? I love this so much. I'm going to join for the year and I'm going to get feedback all year round. And then you can sign up for the yearly one. And that's that. Are you using the slang language? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question there about the slang, but if you rephrase it, I'll try and answer. So, in Friday's workshop, you are going to learn about how to improve, let me start that again. In Friday's workshop, you will learn how improved communication can impact your life. So we've talked about why pronunciation is important, and then we're going to talk about how it can impact your life, because it does. You can't read, no, but thank you, Titan, for the donation. That's so sweet of you, bless you, thank you. And as well on Friday, I'm going to answer all your questions about the Pronunciation Pro membership site, everything. So you're going to start, if you want to ask me about price and stuff like that, I will talk about it on Friday. There was another question here. Where is it? No, it's gone. Signed up. Oh, thank you. Enjoy the book. Enjoy the book. It's a PDF book. I want to make that clear. Like, you won't get anything in the post. Little question. What are the regions in England where people use the glottis? Everyone uses the glottis. If you're talking about the glottal stop, like butter, better, which I think is what you mean here with your example, we use it all across the UK. Everyone and everywhere they use it. Even the Queen uses the glottal stop. So everyone uses it, even the Queen. But yes, Friday's workshop will be the same time as today's workshop, so 2 p.m. UK time. And yes, I'll be talking more about your questions, I'll be talking more about the membership, and I'll be talking about the bigger picture here and how working on your pronunciation can help with improved communication, and it can make your life a lot easier. So, big cam screen, here I am again. Can you illustrate the schwa? I'm not going to do that, but I do talk about it in a lot of detail in the membership site. So, yes, I'm going to go breathe now. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you are interested in the Pronunciation Pro membership site, or if you just want the free PDF with the audio files to practice the sentence stress exercises and the contractions exercises that we did in Monday's workshop and today's workshop, the link is in the description. So feel free to download that, have fun with the book and the audio files, practice, practice, practice. They're all free, and I will send you more information about the membership site. And I think that's it. So have a fantastic day. I'm gonna go because I've been talking for an hour. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope that this has helped and you've learned more about contractions, double contractions. Go download the PDF. It is completely free. Link is in the description. And that is it. I will see you on Friday to talk more about the membership site and answer all your questions. Please email me if you have any more questions and I will very happily answer them. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you have a fantastic day and I'll see you on Friday. Bye bye.